Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, dude, you know.
Yeah, mute him. Thank you.
Come on.
What did I miss?
No, I see.
Nobody's here.
Yes, mute him immediately.
Me?
Yeah, because you're on the phone. I got nervous. That's not a bad thing.
Hey, Joe, I gave you the ability to share your screen.
Okay, cool. All right, what are we doing here? All right, what's up, everybody? Sorry we're late. Sorry we're late. We had to take a Zillow beating, but we're back. We're gonna be okay, I think. How is everyone? Somebody tell me something good.
I'm closing on a deal Friday, which is good.
That's right. That's my girl.
Yeah.
What's up, Lori? Good to see you.
Yes, you too.
My favorite people. All right, cool. That's awesome, dude. We got deals closing. Hey, someone tell me, where do I find this deck that was made? Is it in admin task
Direct message in Slack.
from
Me.
you? Perfect. There we go, guys. Cool. So we are going to dive into social media. Cool. Good to see you guys. All right, awesome. All right, so we're late. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, Joe. I'm gonna do the ventriloquist talking. If you guys haven't seen me do a training in a while, I want to ask a question, no one answers, I will do ventriloquist talking, whereas I talk out of the side of my mouth. It's not weird. It's fine, you guys. So cool. Social media, getting started. So guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be doing these. We're gonna be talking about social media, and we're gonna be breaking it down. We're gonna kind of talk about getting started, right? Cool. So the first thing that we're going to talk about this with social media is where do we get started here, right? The first thing that we would do to get started with social media is to find out who our target audience is, right? So who am I talking to? Can anyone tell me, does anyone have an audience that they're talking to on social media? We're going to make this interactive. It's going to be like fireside chat. Gab, who are you talking to on social media?
I'm talking to brand new agents who need leads, training, and support. That's my audience.
That's very correct, right? Anyone else? Does anyone else have an audience that they are talking to, or that they want to talk to, or they think they want to talk to?
Home buyers, or first-time home buyers, sellers.
Perfect. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Did someone else besides Lori say something?
No, I said the clients.
Clients, correct. But is clients specific or not specific?
Not specific.
Not specific, right? So cool. Lori, I'm going to talk to you because you're talking to me. Is that cool? So let's pick one of your target audience. You said a few things. Let's pick one. Let's start with one. What was the first thing you said, or what's one that we can start with?
First-time home buyers.
First-time home buyers. Now we're talking. Oh my God, I have so much energy when people talk to me. Cool. First-time home buyers. Yo, do we want to talk to a first-time home buyer when they are a first-time home buyer, or do we want to talk to a first-time home buyer before they are a first-time home buyer?
Before.
Before, correct. Why?
Because you need to build trust with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if they're already a first-time home buyer, they already bought a house, right? We want to get them before, we want to earn the right to be their realtor for life before they get there, correct? So Lori, or anyone can answer this. Who is a first-time home buyer before they're a first-time home buyer?
Renters.
That's right. Who said that?
Tim.
Tim, what's up, dude?
What's up?
Crazy, I like it. All right, awesome. Making some noise. Yeah, so they're a renter. So if we talk to renters, you think we can get to our audience?
Yes.
What I want to teach you guys is whoever we want to talk to them before they're that person. Does that make sense, right? So a first-time home buyer, we want to talk to a renter. What's something that we can communicate to a renter who will soon be a first-time home buyer?
I guess you could talk about how you're paying monthly, but you're paying someone else's mortgage, not your own.
Love that. Everyone should be writing that down, right? So now what we're getting into is, if you guys can see how this works, we're going to have a target market that we're going to talk to. And we're going to have shit to talk to them about, right? Like, these are the things that we're going to talk to you about, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to schedule all these posts, right? Has anybody seen my social media? Like, all the time, right? You can't, like, dude, I walk down the street, my neighbors are like, Joe, I clicked something once and now I got to hear about Zillow or whatever 1,000 times, right? Do you guys think that I have a plan for my social media? Do you think I have a schedule for it, right? So who am I talking to? What's my message, right? And we're also going to talk about vessels. Are we doing a stitch? Are we doing a lip sync? Are we doing a speaking? Like, what are we doing? Are we doing a duet? There's all these things. We're going to get into all this stuff, not today. These are like the basics. If you guys like this training, we'll like build on it. If you guys are like, this one sucked, we won't ever do it again, right? So what else can we say to a renter? So we just said, what did you say, Lori? That was good.
Like, explain to them how, yeah, they're paying a monthly payment, but it's not to their mortgage, it's to someone else's.
Right. So we also want to talk about substance, right? You've heard me talk before. There's like these, everyone copies and pastes shitty content and shares it. Like my favorite one is like, oh, if you're paying like the interest rate thing, like you're paying 100% of interest if you're renting, like it's stupid. And it also makes the consumer, the renter, feel bad. Does that make sense, you guys? Like, it makes them feel bad about themselves, right? But what you can say is you could say, hey, by the way, I used to rent you can make it about you. Like, my rent was $2,500 a month, right? I could do it where I am right now. Dude, my mortgage is $4,300. My rent was $45. I pay less money. When I moved to California, I rented and I was like, oh, I'm going to go buy a house. And now it's less money. Like, it makes sense. And now I've got all this equity. Like, you can tell a story. Does that make sense? So first-time home buyer, right? This is like caterpillar turning into a butterfly, right? This is like, we want to get to them another caterpillar, right? So what's another message that we can give to a renter?
How to start the process.
I love it. I love it. Now, talking about interest rates, all this thing, right? We talk about a message that I always communicated to a buyer is, you're not, we talk about interest rates. Hey, you're not, and purchase price, like, this is a great topic. Someone should do it. Like, you're not married to the purchase price. You're married to the monthly payment, right? What's your monthly payment in comparison to what your rent is, right? And this is so, dude, I crushed in New Jersey because the price point you guys are in, it makes sense to buy versus rent almost every time. If you're a teacher, a police officer, if you're a whatever, you know, we're in Orange County or whatever, your parents gotta have a lot of money, or you gotta be a plastic surgeon to afford this shit. In New Jersey, you got a very middle class, bluish collar price point, right? Where like normal people can buy houses, right? So if you say, hey, you know what, you're not married to, you know what, guys, everyone's always asking about purchase price, things like that, interest rates. You know what you're married to? Your monthly payment. If I can show you how your monthly payment on owning of a house is less than what you're renting, would you go buy a house? Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, owning a house rules. You can make, dude, your landlord's not going to kick you out. You throw a party on Saturday night if you want, you know, whatever. Like, that's cool. So, what about like credit score? How to improve your credit score, right? These should all be videos, by the way. You should be like, they should be seeing your face, right? Top of mind awareness. This should not be like posts. Cool. So you said, so Lori, you also said seller, right? We want to work with sellers or no?
Yeah.
I want that to be a target audience. Cool. What's a seller before they're a seller?
A homeowner.
Oh yeah.
Buyer.
That's both of those are correct, by the way.
Yeah.
Both of those are correct. We'll dive into both. They are a homeowner and they are a buyer. Both of those are important because they're two. What I hate is when you scrolling on Instagram or whatever, TikTok, and someone's like, hey, everybody. Dude, don't I scroll right, like I'm not everybody, dude. But if they're like, hey, Southern California surfer dude that loves fish tacos, I'm like, what? You're talking exactly to me. I love all those things, right? Hey, homeowners in Brick Township. You guys have heard people talk like this, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you're about, if you like, you know, when you like talk around your phone and all of a sudden they know all the things you want and they like market directly to you, that's what you want to do, right? Have you ever heard the saying, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody? It couldn't be more accurate. Dude, there's so much shit on here. Everything's drowning out everything else, right? You know, you want to get it as specific as possible. So a seller is a homeowner and they are a buyer before they are a seller. How can we talk to a homeowner?
How to like improve their space in order to sell, to increase their list price.
100%, dude. Yeah. Hey, what people are always asking me, hey, well, actually, I kind of hate that one, right? My sellers in Manahawkin, New Jersey are always asking me what improvements are going to add more money to the sale of their house. Follow me for these tips. And then I would do 5 tips. I would do 5 tips. I would do a carousel, right? With all 5 tips. I would do a video bullet pointing all 5 tips. And then I would do 5 videos breaking down each tip. That's like 7 social media posts right there, right? Does everyone know what a carousel is?
Mhm.
Carousel is a thing where it's like these 5 things, and then you swipe, it's 1, swipe 2, swipe 3, swipe 4, swipe 5. If you want a week's worth of content, find 5 tips for whatever, create a carousel for it. You're going to do 6 videos, an intro video. Hey guys, homeowners in Manahawkin, homeowners in Newport Beach, California. If you're interested in getting more money for your house when it hits the market, these are the improvements that I would be doing. And then 1, clean up the front yard, 2, whatever, those 5 things, that's your intro video. And then I would break down and I would do 1 video on cleaning up the yard, 1 on decluttering the house, 1 on, that's a lot of content. It'll take you an hour. We're going to get to scheduling, but it'll take you like an hour, right? I think Tim yelled out buyer, right? A seller is also a buyer, right? That's like, I would lean on like, how can we talk to a buyer? Someone that's looking to become, someone that's like looking for their new house and currently owns a house. That's when I would become a local expert. This is what, if I was, is anyone here a local expert where like they're known in their area for the area that they service? No, or else you wouldn't be here with me. You'd be out selling all houses wherever you're the local expert, right? I would, if I could do something differently, I say this, I've been saying this since the thing I would have done differently when I was a new realtor is I would have become the local expert where I lived. I sold houses everywhere. I was selling houses in New Jersey and California. I was all over New Jersey. Dude, even when I was in California selling for 2 years, I would drive anywhere. I went to Los Angeles, took a listing. Like, that's insanity. It's cool. But in the beginning, if you, where are we at? All right, I'm going to try and respect everyone's, yeah, we're good. In the beginning, I would have just became the expert in whatever. And the more hyper local that you can get, the better. Okay. What that means is if there is a town, there's like sections of the town. You think about like Manhattan, all the different parts of like, even as far as not like uptown, downtown, there's like Soho, there's NoHo, there's all these different areas, right? Lower East Side, whatever, right? Tribeca. Like I would pick an area and just be like, hey, I'm the Tribeca person, right? And as I lived in Ocean Township, New Jersey, I lived in Wanamassa, there was Oakhurst, there's Wayside. You guys know these areas. Tom's River, Bricktown, Lake Riviera, Cherry Quay, whatever. I've become the local expert in that area. And I would just be, holy shit, every single week I would do a reel in every different price point in that area. What $500,000 gets you in whatever town? What 1.5 million gets you on the water in this town? And once a week, I would go preview it and put it out on my social media.
Joe,
What-
I feel like for like first time home buyers, especially for me, because I'm kind of starting to look a little bit on my own and I want to do an exercise with Evan to get pre-approved. But I feel like what we talked about before, like helping these renters understand, like it just comes down to your price point per month that you could pay for your mortgage. I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, and for like people that are my age that are renting right now don't really understand. So if I can really like push that idea across on just that process of getting pre-approved and how, okay, this is what my monthly payment is per month, then it kind of will encourage them to want to buy versus rent. That makes sense. So I don't know, like I feel like a video like that would be good.
No, you're nailing it. 100%, man. Thank you for the feedback, Tim. So what happens is this. I see such shitty content where you're like being mean to renters. Like not you, but like it's like, you're stupid for renting. Like that's the vibe, man. If you're like, hey,
Right.
you know what? And Tim, what you just said, like everyone wants the realness. Everyone, like when I took the suit off and the bow tie and people saw my tattoos and I just started being myself,
Yeah.
everything just got way easier for me and my clients. Like people want the realness because everyone's being sold, and all the dumb realtors are all sharing the same content. Does that make sense? Right. So like if you were to be like, hey man, I'm a first-time home buyer myself, you know, I'm doing this as well. This is what it looks like. I find a lot of people are blah, blah, blah. And by the way, if you're 20, Tim, I don't know how old you are, man, but if you're like, when I was 28, I got into real estate. Holy shit, that's such a special time because everybody I knew bought houses. Everybody like got married, and then like 5 years later, they all had babies, and they all sold those houses and bought more. So if you're in that like 25 to 35 range or whatever, maybe even younger, you're in a really, really good spot. But understanding, yeah, the one thing, if you guys take one thing away from, and I'm going to move into scheduling, become the local expert where you are and do a reel every single week. And in our university, under social media, there's like a 13-minute training on how to do take a reel of a house so you don't look like a boomer. You know, these boomers that are like, welcome to my open house, come. And they're like doing that, like it's insanity, right? Like I'm a boomer, dude. I'm like a senior citizen in real estate right now, right? Like, and I like don't be those people, right? Like, hey, you know, whatever. So a reel once a week of what a house in your area is like, what that gets you. It's super simple, man. And the future of real estate, if you could put on the future, these are future goggles that I'm putting on, by the way. You can put them on, it's happening right now. The consumer is going to DM you to go and see houses. That's how you're going to get your appointments. They're not going to call you. They're not going to do whatever. They're going to DM you, right? I would highly recommend a link in bio situation where they can find ways to come get you and make an appointment with you. I would highly recommend getting a Calendly, like, hey, set an appointment with me for a buyer consultation. After this call, go to my Instagram, go to my link in bio, and you'll know exactly what I'm saying, right? You can go to my link in bio and you can set a 30-minute coaching call with me. You can find out more about EXP. You can download whatever bullshit I'm giving away on Instagram right now, right? Like you can do all those things. Therefore, my social media will attract more people and be more valuable to the consumer. Now, all these ideas, right, should all be scheduled, right? I love you guys. I know a lot of you. You guys aren't closing 10 deals a month. You have a lot of free time on your hands. So I know it's there, so you can do it, right? The amount of social media that I push out, I feel like is a good amount. I spend 2 to 3 hours a week creating content, probably less, right? It's scheduled on my calendar. I schedule about an hour for like brainstorming and planning. But really, when you're in it and you start doing it, you start to develop the mind of a creator. Like when I'm on the Peloton or whatever, I'm thinking about like what I'm going to do next for my content, right? And you guys should figure out how many times I think everyone should be posting at least once a day. I think that's like nothing, right? Like I think once a day, a post. And if you start with once a week, that's awesome. The one thing you can do is just go preview a house in the area that you specialize in and do a reel. The other thing that I would add in is a business, man. And you don't have to interview the owner. You don't have to make it a whole thing. You can just be like, there's this one agent I love in Jersey City. He like goes, hey, we're going to check out a townhouse in Jersey City, but first we're getting coffee at Busker Do Coffee. And he just does like basically real style. Like he does a front swipe of the coffee shop. He does like a thing of him grabbing the coffee, like a boomerang situation. And then he take a sip of it. And the whole video is like a minute and he like pulls it all together. Right. But if there is a business that you really like, I would consider like, I don't know, going in there and like, and you can do all this on your phone, by the way. You can do all of it on your iPhone.
Like a
Yeah.
day in the life, right? Like almost like a day in the life.
That would be a
Instead
killer,
of it
man.
just be real estate. You like you sprinkle in like a little McDonald's you're stopping at. I don't know.
Yeah, like a vlog. You're talking about a vlog. That sounds awesome too. Like Cristiano's just posted a couple stories about like vlog style, him like driving to work. He's like getting in the office at 5:30 a.m. and he's doing this and blah, blah, blah. Like it looks really good. He does it really well. That's it, man. So I would say, so guys, to recap all of this stuff, this is simple stuff. So who am I talking to? Figure out your target market, target audience, right? And your target audience. So we need more water. I've been talking for like 3 hours. Your target audience is buyers, sellers, and then whatever area you specialize in. If you start now does anybody here want to sell houses a year from now? Or do you want to stop in a year? Let me see some hands if you want to sell houses in a year, right? Cool. If you want to sell houses in a year, one thing that I can tell you that I wish someone would have told me was if you just work your ass off and it gets better and you're going to do more business and it's going to compound if you just do the shit that you don't think will work. If you pick an area that you specialize in right now and put about it every single week for an entire year, I promise you in a year from now, you will have listings there. I swear, I promise you, right? Don't do what I did and like mail 1,500 houses for 5 years. It costs you like $1,000 a month and nobody ever calls you. Like it's like you can get the coverage, right? So figure out who you're talking to. What is your message, right? And by the way, speak directly to those people. Don't say, hey, everybody. I'm scrolling past your shit so fast if you're, hey, everybody me, right? Like, homeowners in Point Pleasant Beach on the water. You got that person. You got that, right? And then what's the message, right? Am I the local expert? Dude, holy crap. Who here has played around with ChatGPT? Do this with your hand. Okay. If you have not played around with ChatGPT, do it today. It's probably like a 911, the thing that you have to do. Go into OpenAI, open up ChatGPT and be like, hey, actually, this is probably worth doing real quick. Hold on. If I can get in there right now. You guys haven't gotten into ChatGPT. This is what it looks like. It's OpenAI. You can pretty much like type anything in here and they'll give you the answers, right? Like, can you see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Way quicker than Google.
See if it comes up. Sometimes it gets like overwhelmed. So check this out. What are challenges first-time home buyers saving? So here you go, guys. Here's all your content done. Joe just fucking did it for you. So this is OpenAI. It reads like all the literature on the planet and brings it back to you. So right here, dude, you want to create, if you want to create your first carousel, right? On first time, what are some challenges that first time home buyers might face? 1, saving for a down payment. 2, finding an affordable home. 3, lack of credit history. 4, competition. 5, limited inventory. 6, mortgage rates. I'm gonna be doing 5 videos following up, diving deep on all of these, and DM me if you have any questions. And then you can go here. Now, if you want to dive deep, so now I'm going to take the first one, saving for a down payment. How can a first-time home buyer save for a down payment? How insane is this, you guys? Is anyone's heads exploding or is it just me?
Yeah, my girlfriend's parents for like the last month have been freaking out about this.
This is it, dude. This is the end of the world, probably.
Yeah, chat.openai.com.
Now, Lori, now you have your carousel made, right? And then, so saving for a down payment, I just put in, how can a first-time homebuyer save for a down payment? Now, you pretty much have a teleprompter for your first video where you're going to tell people how you save for. Hey, if I'm a first-time homebuyer, how can I save for a down payment? Oh, I hear you. One, creating a budget. And by the way, when you film this stuff, you guys are gonna have to learn how to edit, right? But you can just be like, hey, creating a budget. Creating a budget, stick to it, setting aside money each month, cutting expenses, increasing your income. Like, this is cool shit. And then you can just go down through these things one by one. Lack of credit history. How do I fix my lack of credit history? Did it help?
Unreal.
It's over. It's absolutely over. And then people think you're so. And then all you gotta do is read it.
Wait, so that was OpenAI, and then what was the chat GB? What were the letters that you said?
So it's Chat GBT, like Great Britain time.
I dropped the link in the chat box.
Got it, thank you.
Is there like any limits to this, or you can just keep on asking questions all
The
day?
only limit I found is like I asked it to tell me like what is the most popular, what's the most like right news today. Like they can't tell me there's 3 shootings in California in the last 24 hours. Like they can't tell me that shit. Like they can't. If I was like, hey, what's the #1 real estate news story this week? It can't tell me that, but you can go in there and say, hey, like you could be like, you know, like you could be like, you can do anything, man. Like, what is the theme of Mice and Men? The theme of Mice and Men, and it's by John Seneca, Isolation of Human Condition. It's absolutely bonkers, man. So cool. Was this a valuable training for you guys?
Mhm.
So what we're going to do is we are going to find out who our audience is. I highly recommend becoming the local expert wherever you are today. Just start, man, right? Like, and talk about the schools, the boardwalk, the whatever, the coffee shop. You're going to start walking around in a year from now when you're walking around your neighborhood. They're going to be like, oh my God, it's the person from the thing. Figure out what your message is and just schedule your messages on your calendar, right? Schedule your social media time on your calendar, right? This is like the new prospecting. And that's it. Anybody have any questions? This is valuable. Should we do more of these or not?
I have a quick question. I just like kind of summarize like our goal for this. Like we want to create content, informative content to our specialized area and specialized audience. We'll say like a buyer in the $500,000 range, but also make sure they know that if this is how much you're going to buy a house, this is what it's going to cost you per month based on your mortgage payments, to attract and convince those people in your specific area that you're the go-to local expert.
Sounds about right.
Is that ultimately what we're trying to do, is just like make sure people like we're in the back or in the front of people's minds, especially in the area that we're kind of specializing in, that we're your realtor that you need to go to.
Correct. Like Tim, if I want, like, you can help me swing a bat at a baseball, right? And like hit it.
Oh yeah. Better than anyone in the country.
There you go. So what you just said, you need to say the same shit about wherever you're selling real estate, right? If I'm like, hey, I got to find the person that is the guy in Monmouth County to like help me swing up, help my kid all bat, right?
Right.
You want them to be like, that's the fucking guy, right? Like, I know that about you, right? You want strangers to know the same thing about you. And what happens is when you guys are creating really, really great content consistently, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, they push it out to the audience that wants to see what you're talking about. And then you get out in front of strangers. That's how you ever notice that, like, you'll have 10,000 views on something, but you have like 2,000 followers. That's how that happens, right?
Yeah.
And the people, they're going to figure out who you are. People aren't Googling the hot water heater guy. They're like finding him on Instagram and TikTok, right? And they're like, oh, that guy that's the plumber in my neighborhood. I'm gonna DM him. right? That's the hairstylist in my town that everyone likes. I'm gonna DM her.
Yeah, because then you can build a relationship with them just even through like digital. I mean, that's how we kind of connected too, to be honest.
Oh, 100%, man. That's how I meet everyone. And then people just restaurants like don't answer the phone anymore. You guys notice this? Like people don't, my mom loses her mind over this stuff, right? I do too, kind of, because I'm a senior citizen as well. But like nobody answers the phone and they communicate through whatever. I hired a water softener guy for my house and I found him on Instagram and I DM'd him and I made the appointment all through Instagram for a water softener for my house. That's how this is going, you guys.
Yeah.
So
I do have something.
yeah.
So I don't know if this is just me, maybe people are on my side too, but I feel like I look up to what you do. I love all your content. I feel like it's so consistent that like we get it, right? Like it's always there. Like it has almost the same vibe and format, which is awesome. And I think the thing that at least I'm doing, I'm sure other people feel it too, is we overthink just doing the basic. And like it's so much simpler. Like you said, I took the tie and suit off and like it changed everything. And people just want it to be so real that like when you're trying to, not saying it happens all the time with the tie and suit, but when you're there, they think you're selling them. And like it's not, it needs to be the other way, and it needs to be more informative by like everything we just went over. And I'm starting to realize that more. I overthink it and I'm trying to just do better now, even like just every aspect, not just real estate, but like just to push the content out there. Because and the funny thing is that the times I did do it, I did see the results. Like people DM me like, hey, I need a house with this. Like, so it's just about consistency and like getting over that mental block, like to stopping yourself.
Yeah, thanks for the kind words, Anthony. And I'll share with you guys when my job is to recruit to a team. And when people sit with me, I don't really have to say anything because I've already said it on social media. They're like, no, I get it. I follow you. I know what you're doing. I'm like, holy shit. The same thing happens when you go to the listing appointment. Same thing happens when you meet with the buyer. Because do you guys think if we're going to join a real estate organization or whatever, get the real estate license, do you think they're Googling people and checking them out on social media?
No.
Oh yeah.
Dude, seriously, that's all that matters, man. People make decisions. Think about dating. Like I don't date, but like my friends do. And holy shit, that sounds like a nightmare. But like through like 3 photos, they're deciding whether they want to like go have coffee with you or go have frozen yogurt with you. That's the same thing. People are going to make a decision on whether they're going to even consider you as a realtor by just looking at a couple of things and reading your bio, right? If your bio is like, I'm the #1 listing agent in Seaside Heights, New Jersey, do you set an appointment with me here? They're going to set an appointment with you. And to what you're saying, Anthony, is, yeah, I would just say, just do it. Like, I feel bad. I feel so bad for everyone that's not going to do it because you're not going to win. I remember like Gary Keller being like, we need to do video. And I was like, that's not for me. Like my regret is that I didn't start sooner. Right. And I'm so glad I did, because the other thing is this, and then I got to bounce, but like, you guys have such a massive advantage over every one of your competition because you're realtors. The average age of a realtor in New Jersey is 52, right? And that person doesn't get it. And the sooner that you can get out in front of them, I'm a competitive person and I want every advantage I possibly can get, right? And so this is a massive advantage for you guys to get out in front of your competition. The really the savvy buyer and the younger people and whatever, if you're not on social media and if you're not doing videos about what you're doing, they cannot feel that connection from video. They're not going to work with you. Cool, guys. Thanks for coming. I'll see you next time. Yo, tag me in your videos.
Thank you.
Later.
I have a question, Joe. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So I made my private Instagram profile like a non-private, so I can post more. But last night I felt I need to create another profile because that profile I have like a lot of family stuff, older pictures. I don't want that. Is it okay to open a new profile and start with that? But like I use the connection and like show that this is connected to that private account.
Yeah, that's a good question. We get that one a lot. Why is it important to you to have a private account and a different account for real estate?
Mostly because of the previous post. It's like the thing about my families and this kind of thing.
Cool. So this is like the number one asked question, like every onboarding. Let me ask you this. Do people want to work? And by the way, it's good to finally meet you. I don't think we've like fully officially met. Good to see you. So Hamid, do you think people want to work?
Pleasure.
Yeah. Do you think that people want to work with you, the person, or like people want to find out who you really are, man? So like LeBron James, does LeBron James have like a basketball Instagram and like a private personal one for his family, or does he just have like one?
I really don't know, like really.
So what I would say is this, if you're asking for the very straightforward answer, I would have one account, right? People don't want to follow. Real estate's not that exciting, man. It's fucking boring. Nobody cares, right? And so like, nobody's going to be like, dude, this guy posts so much real estate content. I got to follow his you need both, right? I think the best Instagram account, this is my opinion, right? The best Instagram account is 30, 30, 30, right? Or whatever, 30%, 30%, 30%, which is like 90, 100 is real estate, personal life, your family, your hobby, right? So like surfing, family, real estate, right? I just put up a video about me like slam dunking a basketball, and it just went like, if people weren't, because yeah, I can dunk, you guys, whatever. I don't know if you knew that or not.
That was wild. I like that.
Not control. People thought that was like a lowered rim too, which is insanity.
I
It was
don't know.
lower.
You can't get 200 pounds above the rim like I can, right? So, but that's fun, right? People like see, if I just posted like my shit about real estate, I would lose probably half my audience, right? But when I'm like with my son and we're going to a concert and we're grilling and we're surfing and we're doing whatever, we're playing at the park and we're playing Nerf guns, like that's what people want to see. And so if you have, what they say is this, if you have an old account or something like that, audit it. Go like, if you think when I started real estate, I didn't have pictures of me pouring beer on my head, you're out of your mind, right? So like all the like spring break, thong underpants, whatever, all that stuff is gone, right? If it's wholesome stuff, just you and your family, that's kind of what people want, man. They want that's what Anthony was just talking about. They want the real you. I would recommend having one Instagram account, one TikTok account, and everything goes on there. Would anyone want to add to that? Or does anybody agree with that or disagree with that?
Totally agree. I mean, just because like the first deal I ever did was I'm a dance teacher. So the first deal I ever did was once they saw that I got into real estate and I was still posting like normal stuff. It was like ballroom students, their parents were like, oh, we hate our realtor. We want to go with you, because they also just knew me, right? They know your personally, and they see like, you're not trying to sell them or be, a typical just based off real estate, like what Joe said.
What do you think?
Thank you both for the answers. Like I was just checking my profile. I don't think it's anything like a weird, but like a that they need to remove from there. But like I was thinking that I can like open another one and have like a 30% of the my private life that I want to show, because like some of my private life I want to show it to my close friends and my family. Like 100% of my life I want to show it to them. But I can like have a profile like another one, and 30% of that like cooking, going out, at like going for doing a sport, I can put it over there too. But I don't think it's really necessary to have a like a background profile that it has like years of. Is it necessary?
It's up to you. I feel like I've given my opinion. You can do it's totally like take with it what you will, right? Like, what do I know? You can ask a couple other people. Ask Chris is super smart too. Ask him what he thinks. But if you want to have 20 Instagram accounts, go ahead and do it. If the goal is to sell real estate, I'd have one Instagram account where everyone can find me. Because I know that people are like, yeah, you have like, I saw Joe Oz Real Estate. I saw Joe Osachek. I didn't know which one was yours. I just didn't follow you. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Fuck. I wanted to be like, yo, this is my account. And by the way, if you have a bunch of shit you want to share with your family, dude, go start do you have an iPhone? Start a shared album. Drop all that shit in there, man. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. There's other ways to do it. But like, if the goal is to get business, that's how I'm answering the question. You got other stuff you want to do, You can print photos out, hang them in your house. There's a lot of things you can do. But like my suggestion for that is that, hope that helps. You know, again, these are all my opinions.
Thank you.
What do I know? I'm just a realtor. Hey, Anthony, man, congratulations on your first flex deal.
Thanks, Joe.
That's huge, dude. That's huge, massive. I love that. I know you're working.
Thanks.
Congrats, dude. All
Thanks. Appreciate it.
right, guys, I gotta go. Peace.